Hi, this is Jodi. Thanks so much for joining me. Today I'm super excited to show you how to make this quick and creative card using the stamp set Vintage Leaves. So let's go ahead and get started. This piece is just a scrap of very vanilla cardstock, and I'm going to pull in my soft suede ink with this image from the Vintage Leaves. So I'll just ink that up and stamp right onto the scrap. And then this is the fun part. This is where I'm going to sponge color right over the leaf. And I've chosen 3 colors to use today. I've got Tangelo Twist, Rich Razzleberry, and Old Olive. And I'm going to go ahead and start with the Old Olive. I've got a sponge dauber. I just dab the ink on, and then I'm going to set it on here, but I don't want to just go like this and brush the ink on. What I want to do is take the ink and push down, give it some force, and really swirl it. You can tell I'm making some circular motions and pushing down, giving it some good muscle there to get that color to be really vibrant. So then I'll go ahead and add some Rich Razzleberry. And every one of these that you do is going to look different. I was on a Stampin' Up! Trip recently, and I had to make 110 swap cards, and I chose to do this one because I loved it. I still loved it after 110, but it was a lot to do that many. But what's great then is that I got 110 different ideas when I came home. So every time you do it, it's going to look different. Those 110 I did each look different from each other. The last color I'm doing is Tangelo Twist, and you can tell that really just gives it a pop. And this is random. You can see I'm going outside the lines. I'm not trying to stay confined to that image. So if you were doing multiples of these two, I would use a bigger piece of scrap, stamp them all, and just sponge all the olive, sponge all the raspberry, go back with all the Tangelo, do it a little more assembly line-ish if you were doing a lot. So I'm going to set this, oops, I need that platform down, on my magnetic platform with a cutting pad, line up my framelit, and the Vintage Leaves have a coordinating package of framelits, which is awesome because you wouldn't want to cut out all those different leaf shapes. So I will just crank this through, and with all framelits, it just makes life so much easier because we can take it like this and just pop that out. So I'm going to go ahead and set my big shot aside for a moment. Let's pull in the rest of the card here and get that base going. This is 8.5 by 5.5 in very vanilla. Then I have a piece of 5.25 by 4 inches soft suede. This is 1.5 by 4 inches, and this is some of our newer corrugated paper. And I'm going to add the lace. Notice I put the adhesive on the back, and then I'm just going to set it onto the lace. It's much easier to put your adhesive on the back of the cardstock rather than on the lace. Then I'll just go back, add a little bit more adhesive, and place this right here across this piece. Got a little bit long on the side here. I'm just going to use my snips and trim that off. Okay, then I'll do the stamping quick before I add it to the card. This has a little thanks, and it's from a stamp set called One Big Meaning. It's got lots of different thank you verses. It's really nice. And then I'll put this onto the card base. About 1 inch of adhesive in each corner, a little bit in the middle, and we'll stick that right on here. Now obviously my leaf is my focal point, and this certainly would look cute to just set it on here, but let's pull the original one in and just notice the difference. You'll notice that little bit of twine, but you also probably notice some depth and texture. What I do next makes some people feel uncomfortable, but once you do a few, you get okay with it. I literally just crumple this up. I do want to be careful not to let the stem tear off, but otherwise I just crumple. I want it to have more texture on there, so I just crumple it up. The best part about this card is the glitter, so let's pull that in and show you how to do that. I took this lid from one of our embellishments and put just a little bit of water, and then I'm going to take the multi-purpose glue and squeeze some of this right into the water. So basically my goal is just to have a watered down glue. So I just grabbed a paintbrush that I had And I want to mix this together. My water's kind of gone out to the edges here. There's a little gully around there. So I'll mix that all so I have a real thin watery glue. Okay, so now here's the key. Let me move some things out of the way so I don't make a mess. I'm gonna take my leaf, take the paintbrush. I don't want it like dripping with this water, but I want it pretty wet. And then I'm just gonna go like this and hit it on my finger. And hopefully you're able to see that splatter. Let me pull it up a little bit so you can see that splatter of glue. And then I'm just going to sprinkle so my gold glitter is right over it. Again, holding on carefully so you don't tear the stem off. Just whack the extra, and just like sponging the color on, every time you do the glitter it's going to end up different too. Now this is just a little bit wet, so I want to give it some time to dry. After that, I put a dimensional behind each part of the leaf and pop that up, and then just tie a little knot with the gold baker's twine and attach that with the glue dot. So it's a super fun card. It's got lots of texture and the color and glitter just really stands out, and it's a lot quicker than you might have thought when you first saw the card. Thanks so much for watching. For daily creative inspiration or to place an order, visit my blog. You can also find me on Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram.